The BI-Metrix product provides enterprise BI solutions that are affordable and powerful, and that satisfy the three pillars of business intelligence: analysis, reporting, and planning. BI-Metrix integrates to several data sources, but if an out-of-the-box integration is not available, then we can build a custom integration to any data source. What I'm going to be focusing on this session is how a business user builds reports using the BI-Metrix BI Analyzer product. As you can see, I'm inside of Excel. The BI Analyzer product integrates into Excel as an Excel plugin. Now, it is not pivot tables. It's much more powerful than any pivot table can be, and I'll show you how this product works right now. So as you can see, we're in Excel. This is more of a dashboard type report. It's got financial dashboards, financial accounts going down, some comparative information going across, and of course some graphs and charts to visualize the data. The idea behind the BI Analyzer dashboarding is that once the dashboard is built, a business user simply comes to the report and filters on the report. Either filters on the report or simply refreshes the report. So a click on a refresh sheet allows the user to update the report to whatever data is, or current data that's in the database. Assuming though I want to filter on this report, then what I could do is double click on any one of these headers that are available on this specific report. So for example, if I want to look at a specific month of this financial dashboard, then I double click on fiscal year, select the specific month that I want to look at, and the report automatically gets updated for that month. Similarly, if I want to look at this dashboard for a specific division, then I double click on the division dimension. Let's say I want to look at the commercial dashboard. I select that, and the report automatically gets updated for the commercial division. So that's an idea behind the dashboarding, where once the report is built, users can filter on the report, or they can get to lower levels of detail simply by double clicking to do drill downs or drill through. In this case, a drill through provides detailed information behind a specific number on a separate Excel workbook. In addition to dashboarding, the BI-Metrix BI Analyzer report product can be used to build any standard financial reporting, so your balance sheet, income statements, all in a very simple way, formatted exactly the way you want it to be formatted. In this case, for example, a T report allows you to put your month to date on one side, your year to date on the other side, and your accounts in the middle. The same idea though holds true, is that from month to month, all the user needs to do is double click on the time dimension, select the specific month they want the P&L, in this case, to be, and the report automatically gets updated for that month. Or if I want to look at a specific region, I double click to do a filter, and I've got the Eastern Division or Eastern Region P&L for the month of January. Similarly to income statements, balance sheet information, again with graphs and charts, can be easily done using the product. What I want to focus on though is, instead of looking at more formatted reports, is let's take a look at how a business user builds reports using the BI Analyzer product. So as you can see, I'm in a normal Excel spreadsheet here. There's no hidden columns, no hidden cells, nothing like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Report Designer, which is the palette to building reports. The next step is I'm going to select the specific database that I want to connect to. So in this case, let's say I want to look at a financial database. I'm going to click Connect, and on the left-hand side, what I have are the data elements, or the dimensions that I as a business user can use to build reports. The idea behind this is that I simply drag and drop these dimensions into a report layout. For example, what defines my rows, what defines my columns, and what defines my headers. So for example, if I want to build a month-over-month P&L, I would drag my accounts to my row dimensions, I drag my periods to my column dimensions, and let's say I want to analyze this P&L by my customers, rolling up to my different salespeople, my different scenarios or versions of the report. I also want to bring in my divisions and my regions. And in addition to that, I'm going to bring in my measures, which allows me to look at data either on a month-to-date or year-to-date basis for this specific database. Once I've structured the report the way I want it to look, I can now double-click on these dimensions to be a bit more specific as to what I want to report on. So for example, if I double-click on the accounts dimension, you can see what I get here, in this case, is a meaningful balance sheet income statement already rolled up to the specific hierarchies. So let's start at the highest level, net earnings after tax. I'm going to drag and drop it to my selected members area. I'm going to get rid of the default, which was balance sheet there. In addition to that, I'm going to make a couple more selections on my scenario. So I want to look at my actuals 2020, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to click OK. You can see what happens is Report Designer then puts the dimensions of this report inside of Excel in the same positioning that I had it laid out in the Report Designer. Right? These 5 dimensions acting as my filters or headers, my accounts acting as my rows, and my periods acting as my columns. Because this is in Excel, I can use any of Excel's formatting and graphing capabilities to build any style of reports that I want. In this case, I just formatted it, but you can apply any graphing to the reports, any conditional formatting to the reports, such as stop lighting, color scales, data bars, and so on, as you normally do with Excel. And the reason is that unlike pivot tables or a lot of other Excel products, you'll notice that there's no long, complex Excel formulas in the cells, not on the data cell or even on the descriptions. There's no hidden columns, no hidden cells, no hidden columns or no hidden rows on this spreadsheet. It really is as if I typed this into an Excel spreadsheet. The way the product works is it's not based on formulas that connect the sheet to the database. It's based on positioning of these dimensions on the sheet. So for example, if I was to separate these dimensions this way, and delete this data, and I go back to the BI Analyzer and refresh the report, notice where it gets me the data. This product will always return the data where my rows intersect my columns. That's always going to be the case. So unlike pivot tables or other Excel reporting tools, you're not stuck in a tight grid. With this product, you can insert rows and columns inside of your report. Let's say you want to add your own comments or your own Excel formulas or whatever it is, you can do that. I'm going to bring this back to a bit more of a meaningful report with my rows and columns structured this way. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to refresh the report again, and you notice I now get it over here. The next thing I want to look at is drill down. So the ability to drill down on these dimensions. There's a couple of ways to drill down. Directly from the BI Analyzer ribbon, there's a zoom in feature. So for example, if I want to drill down on this net earnings after tax, I can simply click on zoom in, and notice what happens. The report expands to the next level. The other way to drill down is through a double click action. If I double click on any one of these members, so for example, if I want to drill down on earnings from operations, I double click on it and I get the next level. I can double click on gross profit, I can double click on revenues until I get to the lowest level in this database, which is my account level. Similarly, I can double click on general expenses to get a bit more detailed behind the general expenses to get down to that level. I can also drill down on my columns. So in this case, my full year. So if I double click, I get my quarters. If I double click on my quarters, I'm going to get the individual months. So you can see how very quickly, with a couple of double clicks and a couple of selections, I now have a month-over-month P&L for whatever at whatever level of the P&L that I want. I can also zoom out or go up a level simply by using the zoom out feature. The second double click action that I want to look at is filtering. So these headers allow me to double click on them and to select a different slice of this report. So for example, right now I'm looking at my actual 2020 data. Let's say I want to look at last year's data, which is my actual 2019. I can simply double click on this member, select actual 2019, go OK, and notice the report automatically gets updated to my actual 19 data. Again, you'll notice that in each of the cells, there's no formulas, there's no script, there's no code. In fact, if I delete it and refresh the report, the data will simply come back. Now, there's a lot of advantages to not having to rely on formulas within your spreadsheet, and the biggest one, of course, is the integrity of data. You know, Excel formulas can get corrupted, they can get deleted, therefore putting your reports or causing some integrity issues on your report. With this product, there's no fear of that, because the formulas don't determine, or any formulas don't determine what you're going to get on the report. It's in fact what is on your row and what is on your column that will determine the result of what you're going to get on this report. Okay. So again, I can continue to filter on this report. Let's say I want to look at a different region. I can double click on that. Let me take a look at the Eastern region, click OK, and now I've got the P&L for the Eastern region. I can similarly double click to get to the whatever level of data I want to look at. I can do some further drill throughs on this report. I'm going to take it up to total region. Let's say I want to look at a bit more detailed level of what makes up specific data within this report. And that leads me to the third double-click action within this product. So, for example, if I want a bit more description, a bit more detail behind what is behind this $1.2 million of general expenses for March, I can double-click on the number itself. It's going to open up a drill-through dialog. If I click OK, you'll notice on a neighboring spreadsheet, I'm going to get the detail behind that number. Okay. And this can, of course, provide me whatever detail I want by region, by PO number, by sales number. This is a general ledger queue, but the same concept applies to sales or inventory, your CRM database, or any other data sources that you may want to slice and dice on. Let's talk about this concept of slicing and dicing. With the report designer, because of the way it's structured, I can easily slice and dice this report. So, for example, if I want the same account or P&L, but instead of month over month, let's say I want to look at it and look at a divisional comparison of my P&L. I can simply bring up my period dimension to my headers, take my divisions to my column, click OK, and then double-click on my divisions to get a comparison divisional P&L for this product. I can do actual to plan comparison. Again, similarly by going through Report Designer. In this case, I want my scenarios to define my columns as well. And within my scenarios, I want my actual. Let me take my actual 2020. I want my budget 2020. And I also want an actual to budget comparison, so better or worse comparison. I'm going to click OK and click OK. And now you can see what I have is for each division, I got the actual to budget comparison. Again, no formulas, no script, no code. It is simply a matter of dragging and dropping into a report layout. Again, if I want to insert columns inside of this report, I can easily do that. The report is still functionable. If I want to filter on it, let's say I want to look at it for a specific month, I can do that as well. Okay. Let's take a look at this concept of adding columns into the reports. For example, I'm going to delete this column, but let's say I want, for whatever reason, I want the sum of my commercial and retail. So I want a total sum of my commercial and retail. So all I did here was I moved the retail above this non-division, so I have it side by side with my commercial. I'm going to click OK, and you can see the resulting report, of course, gives me now commercial and retail. But let's say for whatever reason, I want the sum of commercial and retail. And I want to put it in this column, column H. As I just described, I can always insert a column and use an Excel formula to get my commercial plus retail. I can give it a name, commercial plus retail, and then use an Excel formula that simply sums up my actual. So let's say this plus that is an Excel formula. I'm going to copy this all the way down. And you can see now, even though that's an Excel formula inside of my report, if I was to update this report, let's say, let me go back to full year, you can see that this Excel formula stays within the report. So the report does not remove any formulas and so on. Another way to build formulas or calculations within the report, other than Excel formulas, is this concept of custom members. And custom members allows me to build any type of calculation. It can be anything from simple to more complex calculations, roll-ups, hierarchies within the product on the fly. So the business user can do this on the fly. Let me do this same example of commercial plus retail using the custom members function this time. So I'm going to delete this column, and I'm going to go to custom member. You can see in this specific report there's none at this point, so I'm going to add a new one, and I'm going to give it the same name, so commercial plus retail. So that's going to be the name of this new custom member that I'm going to add. I'm going to select the dimension or the place that's going to hold this new member. In this case, it's relating to my my divisions. So I'm going to select the division dimension here. I'm going to go OK. And now I'm going to insert this calculation. So in this case, really, it's commercial plus my retail. I'm going to go OK. You can see that now I've got the list of the custom member in this custom member manager. I'm going to go OK here. Now when I go to Report Designer and I double click on the division dimension, notice that I have this new custom member in blue at the top, meaning I can now drag and drop this to the report, click OK, and then click OK, and notice the resulting report gives me now commercial, retail, and commercial plus retail for all three: actuals, budget, and the variance. Again, not using any Excel formulas. It's simply using the product to create any sort of calculation. The power of that, of course, is I can now slice and dice on this new custom member of commercial plus retail. So for example, if I want a month-over-month report for commercial plus retail, I can simply go to Report Designer, reposition these dimensions. Let me bring division up. I'm going to bring scenarios back up, and I'm going to bring periods to the columns. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to select that new custom member. I'm going to filter to that. Let me go back to a year of actual 2019. I'm going to now double click on my full year to get the month-over-month comparison for the commercial plus retail total. Okay. So hopefully I've given you an idea of how you build reports, how you correspond with the database. Again, using the Report Designer, which is the palette to building reports, allows me to drag and drop these dimensions into rows, columns, and headers. I can do any combination of rows or columns. I can switch these reports completely around. So if I want to look at my my net income by region, I would structure the report this way. I would go, I'd click OK. I'd double click on my regions to get my individual regions. And let's say I want to look at my net income for all regions. I simply filter to the net earnings after tax. In this case, I'm looking at commercial plus retail, which is that new custom member that I built. But if I want to look at total account division, I simply select or double click to filter on that. So giving you an indication of how users build reports, they can now add any sort of formatting to the reports to build these sort of dashboards that we talked about, including forecasting type reports. And I'm going to get into a little bit about the budgeting and planning side of this product right now. So the same way that we're reading data from the database, we can also use the BI Analyzer to load data to the database. And we have a lot of customers that use this product for budgeting and planning because they can collect the data in Excel the same way they may be doing it right now. But instead of using long, complex Excel formulas to sum up these individual sheets, whether it's by division or manager or product or however it is that you budget and plan on, instead of using Excel formulas to sum them up, you would simply load it to the cube, and you let the cube do the summation and the roll-ups and the consolidation of the data, such that now you would have your actual, you would have your budget or plan in the database, and you can do comparison reporting of your actual to plan. This is a forecast report, for example. If I refresh this report, what I'm going to get in this case is a 1+11 forecast. because I've got 1 month of actual for January, but I've got 11 months of my budget for a total of a 1 plus 11 forecast. Let's say next month I've got my actual February's now in the database, so I want to do a 2 plus 10 forecast. Because of the ability to build what are called asymmetrical reports with the BI Analyzer product, you can build these types of asymmetrical reports and then just be able to slide over specific dimensions. So in this case, I'm going to slide the budget to represent my March through December, and my actual represents my January and February. So in this case, giving me a 2 plus 10, I would refresh the report, and right out of the box, I have a 2 plus 10 forecast for this company. Right? So it really is just a matter of sliding the dimensions across. In this case, now I'm going to do a 3 plus 9, and that's pretty much it. I can also take this report, which is in this Excel workbook. I can copy it or move it. I'm going to take a copy and move it to another book, because what I want to do, or what I want to show you now, is the ability to take any report and replicate it across any of the headers. So let's say I want to look at this forecast. It's a 3 plus 9 forecast, and I want to do it or build it by my regions. So I want all my regions to have this one report. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use this replicate feature, which allows me to take any report and replicate it across any of the dimensions or any of the header dimensions. I'm going to select my region dimension in this case. I'm going to click on replicate. And you can see what happens is my region dimension members open up, and from here I can simply move them over to the selected members area. I can position this. Let's say I want my total to be at the end. I want Eastern, Northern, and so on. I'm going to now click OK. And notice what happens on the spreadsheets down here on the individual spreadsheets. I now have the individual forecast in one shot. So there's nothing in Eastern region. This is the Northern region forecast. Here's the non-region specific forecast. Here's the Southern region forecast. There's no data there. But here's the full regional forecast. So the ability to take any report and replicate that report across any of the headers is made simple because you can replicate or use this replicate feature. Similarly, I can take this report and replicate by the different divisions, or the different salespeople, or the different customer or vendor group. Okay. With this product, there's no concept of a viewer license. So if I was to save this report and send it over to my, let's say I take this report, let me take one that has data. Let's say I take this Northern region report or Northern region forecast, and I email it to the Northern region manager. That manager doesn't need to have the BI Analyzer product or any of the BI-Metrix products to view a report, because it'll just get saved as an Excel spreadsheet or as a PDF file, and that user will just see it either as an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF, so they can open it up on their computers, on their smartphones, on their tablets to view reports. So there's no concept of a viewer license with this product, because anyone that has either Excel or a PDF reader can view the reports. The only time you need this BI Analyzer license is if you want to correspond and talk to the database. So for example, if I'm the Northern region manager and I want to do some further drill downs on this forecast, I would need the BI Analyzer, because let's say I want to look at this forecast for specific salespeople. Then I could be able to double click and say, give me this forecast for Bill. Right? Or give me this forecast for Don. There's no data, but let me go back to the non-sales specific person. That would be the forecast for that non-sales person specific, which could be my web sales. Right? So to go back to the original file that we had with all the different types of reports, I'm just going to go through some of these right now. If this report is structured, you already know how to structure these reports in terms of rows, columns, and headers. I'm going to click OK. And notice that right out of the bat, I've got the ability to format reports using a report format option that this product has. And what that allows me to do is format the report such that when I drill down on the reports, the formatting of the report gets carried with the report as I do drill downs. So you can see that any types of formatting can get added, including borders, the conditional stop lighting. This then again allows me to filter on the reports. So if I want to look at just a commercial division, I can do that as well. Again, being able to format this report. This is a sales analysis database. Allows me to analyze sales analysis by products and salespeople. So for example, if I open up this database and I look at the dimensions that make up this database, I've got my different customers, my periods, my time dimension, my metrics, my different sales metrics, and the salespeople. If I click OK, you can see that I have here a net margin report by salesperson by product. So if I double click or drill down on these items, I can get the individual products. And if I double click on the salespeople, I'm going to get the different salespeople going down by product. Similarly, I can double click or drill down on the full year to get a quarterly report, or in this case, a quarterly report. So this is a quarterly net margin report by sales manager by product. I can easily change this to a different metric simply by double clicking on the metric dimension. And instead of looking at a net margin report, let me look at a net quantity sold report. I would select that, filter it, and the report automatically gets updated for the net quantity sold. So hopefully I gave you a quick introduction to the product of the BI Analyzer, BI-Metrix product. It's a powerful tool, really allows the business users to access your data, whatever it is, be it your general ledger, your CRM data, your sales data, inventory data, to do slicing and dicing of the report, to build reports, to do analytics on it, and in addition to that, to do budgeting, planning, and forecasting without any real requirements for technical expertise. You saw at no point during my analysis here or my report building did I need to know tables or fields or how to join it or build any complex Excel formulas. All I really needed to know was, what do I want to look at this report? How do I want the report structured by way of rows, columns, and headers? So I hope that was a good introduction to the product. If you do have any questions on our product, please visit our website at BI-Metrix.com and contact us at any time. Thank you.